7, report of the Auditor General on Kiambu County Assembly Staff Loan Scheme Fund for the year ended 30th of June 2022. And 8, report of the Auditor General on the County Assembly of Kirinyaga Mortgage Scheme for Members Fund for the year ended 30th of June 2022. 9, report of the Auditor General on County Assembly of Murang'a Car Loan and Mortgage Scheme Fund for the year ended 30th of June. And Mr. Speaker, sir, finally, the report of the Auditor General on Kakamega County Alcoholic Drinks Control Fund for the year ended 30th of June 2022. I lay.
Chair, Finance and Budget Committee.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the Senate today, the 16th of February 2023. That's a report of the Standing Committee on Finance and Budget on the County Government Additional Allocation Cash Disbursement Schedule for the financial year 2022-2023. I beg to lay.
Simultaneously, you can give notice of the motion.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Okay, proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Is notice of motion on adaptation of report of the Standing Committee on Finance and Budget on the County Government Additional Allocation Cash Disbursement Schedule for the financial year 2022-2023. Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to give notice of the following motion that the Senate adopts the report of the Standing Committee on Finance and Budget on the County Government Additional Allocation Cash Disbursement Schedule for the financial year 2022-2023, laid on the table of the Senate today, the 16th of February 2023. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Honorable members, I want to reorganize the business of the day. Now we skip from order number 7 as per your order paper to order number 15, majority leader.
Order number 15, motion, approval of the Senate calendar for the second session of the 13th Parliament.
Proceed, majority leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you for indulging me. I beg, Mr. Speaker, thank you for indulging me and for colleagues also understanding. We are living in very unique times. Therefore, when we get a little breather and some sense of sanity in the House, we want to move as fast as possible and transact as much as we can. This is one among a series of motions that I want to move this afternoon, Mr. Speaker, so that we can set, one, the calendar of the House and also a few things that we want to do, like committees, their colleagues who don't have the same. So, Mr. Speaker, I beg to move the motion that pursuant to Standing Order number 32-1, the Senate approves the calendar, regular sessions for the second session of the 13th Parliament, February to December 2023, laid on the table of the Senate on Wednesday, 15th February 2023. Mr. Speaker, I laid that calendar here yesterday, and most of the members actually have it. It's on their gadgets. It's just a simple procedure of setting the dates upon which we shall be meeting from February all the way to December. This is a long period. Of course, there are recesses in between. There are moments we'll take a break, but it's a fairly straightforward matter that I want to convince my colleagues in the Senate that let us pass this motion so that now we have a fixed calendar. Of course, there'll be amendments here and there, as is the usual practice. There may be a need for a special sitting in a particular time and the following. But given that this is the first order that we want to do, Mr. Speaker, I want to request that we pass this calendar of the House so that we know how we proceed from here. Mr. Speaker, it's a fairly straightforward matter which I don't need to speak very much at length to. I request Senator Chimera to second.
Senator Chimera.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I second.
Thank you. Honorable Senators, I propose the question that pursuant to Standing Order 32-1, the Senate approves the calendar regular sessions for the second session of the 13th Parliament, February to December 2023, named on the table of the Senate on Wednesday, 15 February 2023. Any member who want to, Senator Cheptumo?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to support this motion. And Mr. Speaker, to recognize the fact that this House is able to manage its own agenda. Mr. Speaker, I'm reminded of those days before the 2010 Constitution, when this House could be controlled from outside. Today, Mr. Speaker, we have the capacity, the lack of framework to manage our calendar, the time frame to be in the House, to be on recess, and so on. So it is really a good progress, and I think we've seen the program, or rather the timetable, and I support Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Senator Wakoli Wafula, Senator Bungoma.
I have nothing much to say, but to reiterate what my learned friend has said, I'm a teacher by profession, so that the program, the schedule as presented here, will allow the House to proceed properly and equally allow us to do our research and prepare properly and ensure that whatever is brought on the floor of the House is adequately handled. Thank you.
Okay. Senator Geduku.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to second.
To support.
To support. I rise to support to support this. I rise to support, Mr. Speaker, because now we need to make progress, Mr. Speaker. Have you seen in this House, Mr. Speaker? There has been a lot of shenanigans which has been going on, Mr. Speaker. But right now, Mr. Speaker, we need to move to make progress because Kenyans are watching. Kenyans want us to work for them. They sent us into this House so that we can be able to do the work that actually, Mr. Speaker, they sent us here to do. So, Mr. Speaker, I'm supporting that we need to make progress and, Speaker, so that everything can go in the proper way as it is arranged, Mr. Speaker, or planned. Thank you, and I support.
Okay, thank you. The mover, reply.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I thank my colleagues for the comments that they've given. We'll be guided, actually, Mr. Speaker, by the decision of this House. I plead that we pass this motion so that we can set the ball rolling. I know there are many who may have wanted to speak, but I've explained to them the unique times that we are living in and the need to process business when there is order as fast as we can. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I beg to move.
Thank you. And this matter does not concern counties, and therefore I proceed to put the question. That pursuant to Standing Order 32-1, the Senate approves the calendar regular sessions for the second session of the 13th Parliament, February to December 2023, named on the table of the Senate on Wednesday, 15th February 2023. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Next order.
Order number 16, motion, approval of Senator David Wafula Wakoli to serve in the Committee of Powers and Privileges.
Yes, Majority Whip.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, sir, I raise to move motion number 16, being the approval of Senator David Wafula Wakoli, MP, to serve in the Committee of Powers and Privileges. Mr. Speaker, that notwithstanding the resolution of Senate made on 13th of October 2022 and 15th November 2022 on the approval of senators to serve in select committees of the Senate, and pursuant to section 15(1)(b)(2) of the Parliamentary Powers and Privileges Act and Standing Orders number 197 and 199, the Senate approves Senator David Wakoli Wafula MP to serve in the Committee of Powers and Privileges in place of Senator Miraj Abdullahi MP. Mr. Speaker, this is a procedural motion, and therefore, in keeping with our tradition, customs, and practices, such motions are usually dispensed of expeditiously. I therefore beg to move and invite Senator Miriam to second the motion.
Senator Miriam.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to second the motion, and I believe Wafula can do better. He can capable of the position. I second the motion.
Thank you. Honorable Senators, I propose the question that notwithstanding the resolution of the Senate made on 13th October 2022 and 15th November 2022 on the approval of senators to serve in select committees of the Senate, and pursuant to section 15(1)(b)(2) of the Parliamentary Powers and Privileges Act and Standing Orders 197 and 199, the Senate proposes Senator David Wakoli Wafula MP to serve in the Committee of Powers and Privileges in place of Senator Miraj Abdullahi MP. Any member wishing to contribute? Have your seat, Chair, Security? Okay. Senator Tabitha Mutinda.
Thank you, Chair. And I would wish to congratulate Senator Wafula for the new appointment to the committee. And the committee's key mandate is to look at the privileges that members of the Senate do actually misuse. And as per what you've actually seen, from the day we resumed the House on Tuesday, it's been very, very chaotic. And I would urge you, as you embark onto that committee, try and do as per pertains the committee per the standing orders of the House. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Senator Wamatinga Waume.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. So I also like to support and taking this opportunity to welcome Senator. I serve in the same committee as the Vice Chair, and without wanting to sound as a sadist, I was hoping that we'll get some business from the occurrences of today. It is unfortunate that we didn't get any. We can sit around and wait for it to happen. If it doesn't happen, then we can sit back, but Karib, welcome.
Thank you. Having no other senators, I'll call Senator Kalwale to reply.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to reply. Thank you.
And again, this matter does not concern counties understanding 184.2, and therefore I put the question that notwithstanding the resolution of the Senate made on 13th October 2022 and 15th November 2022 on the approval of senators to serve in the select committees of the Senate and pursuant to section 15(1)(b)(2) of the Parliamentary Powers and Privileges Act, and Standing Orders 197 and 199, the Senate approves Senator David Wakoli Wafula MP to serve in the Committee of Powers and Privileges in place of Senator Miraj Abdullahi MP. Will as many as that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of that contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Next order.
Order number 17, motion, approval of changes in the membership of standing committees.
Majority whip. Senator Gloria Roba.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to move the motion of approval of changes in the membership of standing committees that, notwithstanding the resolutions of the Senate made on 13th October 2022 and 15th November 2022 on the approval of senators to serve in select committees of the Senate and pursuant to Standing Orders 199, 228, and the 4th schedule to the Standing Orders, the Senate approves the senators nominated by the Senate Business Committee to serve in standing committees of the Senate as follows. 1. Standing Committee on Agriculture, Livestock and Fisheries. Senator David Wafula Wakoli, MP, to replace Senator Maureen Tabitha Mutinda, MP. 2. Standing Committee on Devolution and Intergovernmental Relations. Senator David Wafula Wakoli, MP, to replace Senator Esther Okenyuri, MP. 3. Standing Committee on Energy. Senator William Kisang Kipkemoi, MP, to replace Senator Veronica Maina, MP. 4. Standing Committee on Information, Communication and Technology, Senator William Kisang Kipkemoi, MP, to replace Senator Gloria Oroba, myself, MP. 5. Standing Committee on Justice, Legal Affairs and Human Rights, Senator Karen Nyamu, MP, to replace Senator Samson Cherargei, MP. 6. Standing Committee on Labor and Social Welfare, Senator Gloria Oroba, MP, to replace Senator Karen Nyamu, MP. Standing Committee on Trade, Industrialization and Tourism, Senator Lelegwe Tumbesi, MP, and Senator Esther Okenyuri, MP, to replace Senator Danson Mungatana, MP, and Senator Tabitha Karanja Keroche, MP. I would like to invite Senator Mudigi to second the motion.
Senator Alexander Mudigi.
Bwana Spika, naunga mkono haya yote yamesomwa hapa, na pia ni aibu kubwa sana kwa yale yametendeka siku ya leo katika Kenya, kwa sababu tunajua mwenyekiti kama amekalia walikuwa napiga kelele, na tunaona ile walikuwa nasema kutoka miaka yote, na siku ile senator alisema ati tutakuwa tukipitisha mambo ya MBC itakuwa ni maandamano. Kwa hivyo ametuonyesha ni aibu kubwa sana katika Kenya kuona wakitoka nje katika Kenya. Kwa hivyo hiyo ni kitendo kimoja kimbaya sana. Kwa hivyo tunasema sisi watu wa Kenya kwanza tutaendelea vizuri na tutasimamisha Kenya na tutajua Kenya kwa kipindi ya miaka 5 itafanya kazi. Ya pili nikimalizia ni kusema yale wametenda hawana hivu, hawana asanti, kwa sababu ile tungeomba ni kuwa tunafikiria Kenya kwanza, tunaiombea mazuri ndio itusaidia maji ya kilimo na mambo ya janga la njaa na mambo ile ingine. Kwa hivyo tunasema nyinyi hamuna asante kwa wale watu walichagua nyinyi, na hamuna asante kabisa, na tunasema ile ingine ni kitendo ile ambaye imesemwa na Sivuna ati hapa alichaguliwa na kura nyingi kuliko sisi. Katika sisi wote hapa Kenya, sisi sote Kenya senator aidha umechaguliwa kura nyingi ama ni kidogo, sisi wote tuko ni maseneta. Asante sana. Ni mimi senator Mundigi katika Embu County. Asante.
Kabla uondoke Senator Mundigi. Senator